So there's something I wanted to say in this video, and I truly believe it. Marvel Spider-Man would have made it into the Steam's top-selling games of 2023 if it had a day one launch and a day one release. It also, in my opinion, would have made a high list on the PlayStation console. Now, I know many of you might have been pushing back all this while saying, oh, if you actually put your games on PC day one, what is the point of selling consoles and all of these other things when in reality, software sales is where it's at. Valve is a sustainable company from simply selling mostly other people's software and supporting the customers who buy that software by giving them an online platform, giving them a library, giving them access to hardware, access to online functionality and other things. And they simply collect a 30% cut, but it is a 30% cut well spent. Steam is phenomenal. Ask anybody, they'll tell you they hate Epic Games, and Steam is basically where it needs to be for the gamer. Now, Epic Games has an argument because on the side of the developer and the indies, Epic Games is where it's at. It's where it actually all the fun is going on the back end. So they both have a case for them, but that's not necessarily the topic for today. The topic for today is Marvel Spider-Man Part 2. If it was launched day one on PC, would have been on the list of the top selling games on Steam's platform without a doubt. Now, I say without a doubt because that's a place I'm coming from confidence. I'm coming from that area because we're seeing Starfield as one of these games that was heavily disparaged, heavily criticized, negatively reviewed even more recently, which many people don't realize, or maybe they do, that negative reviews equal sales, and is making it into the top 12 of the games on this particular list. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't even mean that Starfield is actually number 3 or number 4. It just is number 1 through 12. The bin is always getting mixed up because Steam does it on purpose. In fact, if you scroll down to the bottom, like those of you who may have watched my Starfield video from yesterday, they actually go ahead and they say, this revenue specifics are not disclosed for the games on any of these lists. We group them into randomly sorted buckets to give no idea of how they all stacked up. So Starfield might as well have been number 12, like the last on the list is supposed to be here, and Destiny could have been number 5, or Apex Legends or Counter-Strike could have been number 1, but they're just basically saying, if you look at the top 12 list, the platinum winners are basically Starfield. Hey, look, it's Cyberpunk 2077 making it into that list again, a game that came out in a worse state than, Starfield did, but because, in a worse state, it got pulled from the PlayStation Store. Don't give me that, Cyberpunk was a base good game when it first came out. See, some of y'all, you really are some of the most inconsistent in your judgment when it comes to gaming. And I try my best to be, as calm as I possibly can. But the inconsistency is turning my belly. Let's call it what it is. This was an incomplete game at launch. This was a fully, botched launch at the time it came out. I like CD Projekt Red. I have their project. But let's call it what it is. They've gone back to make amends and fix the game. But at the end of the day, this game makes it into the best supporting game after there are many other games that they walked over. Hogwarts Legacy, possibly the highest selling game. It never got any accolades at the Game Awards. And somehow we have to pay attention to these people who are making these, judgments, or they need to all go sit down somewhere. Let's get back to the conversation. That was a rant out of left field. But again, to Marvel Spider-Man, I think it would have made the list. You see, the exclusivity and the hardware thing that PlayStation desires is something that they're chasing that they can't necessarily catch. And I say this because they don't have the secret sauce. And the secret sauce is not something that is so secret at the end of the day. The secret sauce is you actually have to have such a specific selling point or a unique selling point in order for you to be able to pull off what it is that PlayStation is gunning for. And what is it that PlayStation is gunning for? It simply is the kind of market and exclusivity and profitability that Nintendo possesses. At the end of the day, this is a ploy to be like Nintendo, because Nintendo holds this position in the market that is so strong, a closed off for the most part ecosystem, yet very profitable. But people don't realize that as much as Nintendo may be selling its titles, which are usually 1 in a million, the big profitability that they actually make money from is also the software that is sold on their platform. So they provide a platform that is based on nostalgia. That's how I rank it. Number two, based on such a unique selling point, that is the capability of a versatile system that can appeal to a family, parents, and children. The PlayStation and the Xbox don't really have that until about later on from many families. This is exactly where Nintendo just comes in and eats it. I mean, think about it. You know, how many young people are walking around with a Nintendo Switch? How many adults are walking around with a Nintendo Switch? A whole lot of people. And they also have the portability. So what mobile is able to do, Nintendo Switch somehow, fortunately, has been able to, in a sense, encapsulate all of this in their own little platform. PlayStation does not have this. So they're chasing a dream that they just cannot get a hold of. And now Xbox has made its way into mobile and PlayStation is behind, and we're seeing all these articles saying that they're dated. Hence, I believe that this is a first step for them. Bring your games to the PC platform. Look at Starfield, basically eating all the revenue. If Marvel Spider-Man 2 was on this list, I think Starfield might have been bumped away into the gold category because of it. I know I've been saying that, Starfield was doing good in sales, but nobody wanted to hear me. However, a lot of these other games that are free to play would have taken the cake. And Baldur's Gate already had a big, huge following of the players who knew about it for about, a year or more in its development and early access phase. And so coming in, Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion, was going to be a juggernaut. Maybe it was Starfield or maybe Cyberpunk that would have been bumped up the list if Marvel Spider-Man 2 was actually launched here day one. Even Horizon Forbidden West, because that game had already, in my opinion, taken on, a lot of, knowledge in regard to, fans and in regard to gamers out here as to what the game was about. Because the game has actually been heavily discounted. Many of you may or may not know, but Horizon Zero Dawn, is PlayStation's highest selling game. I mean, how do you think this actually came about? What do you think actually caused this? Well, it's because the game has been on PC the longest for the most part, as one of PlayStation's newer exclusives being, moved all the way to, PC. And it's also been discounted a lot. So this discount has helped for the sales to pretty much go. And people actually like the game on PC. Look at it. I don't think there's a PlayStation game on PC, on Steam, that is badly reviewed. I doubt it. Even Horizon Zero Dawn, as much as it had mixed, looks in terms of PC, there is not a single game. Oh, I take that back. The Last of One PC port. But that was a performance issue in regard to when it launched. However, since it's been fixed, you can see that the recent reviews are positive. So even though the game came out on a very shaky foot, the content, the production, and all the stuff that the game actually brought when we first played it on the console is still here. The core of the game is still evident, and so the game is doing well. I don't see how PlayStation doesn't see this and requires itself or boxes itself into selling hardware as probably the only way it needs to go. That is such a myopic view, and I would hope that their analysts continue to push for more and more of this particular platform to expand its reach. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it right here. Everybody is chilling and making a bunch of money here on console. I'm sure somebody will tell me, but we don't really know how much they sold, so it could be that the games are not really selling that well. I hope you saw Call of Duty in that category. I hope you saw basically all the live service games that have been sustainable for many, many years, or most of them anyways, that are actually here, right? I hope you actually did see them, especially Destiny as well, which is also very interesting. So if you did see a lot of these, and at the same time you're still wanting to contend or whatnot, then, I guess I don't know what else to say. But this is my conclusion based on the evidence, based on the familiarity of the IPs. In regard to that, there's just no way Spider-Man would not have made this list and not been killing it in this list and many other lists if it came to PC day one. But then it's going to show up after, 2 years, and then it's going to be relevant. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys know how to press the buttons of your, favorite console manufacturer, tell them, bring your games to PC day one. It doesn't matter if the box is sold. What matters is if the games are sold. If not, they're only going to be able to do about 7 million by year's end, if possible. But the other 5 or even 8 million that they could have acquired here on PC, that's all now sleeping on the table because they hope that these PC players are going to go buy a console. All 6 million of them. Keep dreaming. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.